Why do we as black people always find the time to name our criminals as victims?
Carmelo Anthony still has not been indicted, and this track meet ordeal happened on April 2nd, which was over a month ago. On June 2nd, it'll be 2 months, and there still hasn't been any indictment, which leads me to believe the young man was, as he said, acting in self-defense and is innocent, because what's taking so long? Now, in recent news, it is being reported that Jeff Metcalf, which is the father to Hunter and Austin, went up to the school where
Yes, just when I thought this is over, I see a lot of people pouring out videos upon videos. There is something actually going on. I want us to take an exclusive look into what is going on exactly. For about 1 week now, I've not talked about this topic again because I thought, nothing like this is happening. When you take a look at this article published by CBS News, Austin's father seek answers after learning Carmelo Anthony may still graduate high school. He actually went to this school. Concerning. When I look at black people reacting to this, I weep because
Why do we as black people always find the time to name our criminals as victims? I mean, we look at George Floyd and he was a victim, yet we failed to realize the reason why he had contact with law enforcement in the first place. I mean, at the end of the day, the man was unalived by fentanyl, but yet we fail to talk about the real victim, like the pregnant woman that he held to her head during an armed robbery and a home invasion. A black woman, might I add. But that don't matter. He's a national hero. He's got a statue. As far as the Austin and Carmelo case, it's a tragedy. And both children, because they're kids, both children lost something that day that they could never get back. And I mean, regardless of the rumors, the he say, she say that's going on in social media, people creating fake pages to undermine the police report, we must put blame where blame is due. And at the end of the day, one child murdered another child. Regardless of bullying, regardless of an altercation, he chose to pull a knife and plunge it into the chest of another child. And justice must be sought for that. Regardless of what liberals might say, we are not all victims, but sometimes we're a product of our bad choices. Time and time again, our young black boys overreact at parties, at clubs and other events, and what do you know? Someone is unalived. But just think if the shoe was on the other foot and Austin had the knife and he dared Carmelo to put his hands on him and see what happens while sitting under a tent of an opposing team at a track meet. Imagine Austin pulled a knife out of his bag and plunged it into Carmelo. How do you think that would have turned out? I'll tell you how. There would have been a national news conference hosted by Al Sharpton and Ben Crump, with the family standing by demanding.
We don't have a race problem in this country. We have a problem race. And this has nothing to do with skin color.
he is right. I said it on one of my videos, like, take this case the other way, like this happened to the other guy. We will not drink water. Everywhere will be saturated with news talking about that. But now they pretend like everything is okay, still struggling to cover up the whole situation. It saddens my heart when I see it happening. This lady here said, we don't have a race issue. She actually put out something very important. I don't want to elaborate. Take a look at this.
We don't have a race problem in this country. We have a problem race. And this has nothing to do with skin color. This has something to do with the behavior that is coming from a certain group of people, black people, that is not okay. Let me be the one to break it to you. They're calling you the N-word and they're treating you like the N-word because you're acting like the N-word, okay? This is how you're acting, and even your own ancestor would be repulsed by your behavior. The disgusting behavior that is coming from you guys is absolutely repulsive, and I am so tired of seeing you guys come across my screen doing the most absolutely animalistic things possible. It is disgusting. And you don't want to talk about the facts. You don't want to talk about how we need to fix the households and how we need to pay attention to the children and how we need to do better for ourselves. You want to blame white people. Go figure. You guys are completely disgusting. And I promise I would die on my feet talking about this before I die on my knees serving the degenerate behavior that is coming out of the Black community. It is absolutely ridiculous. And of course, I have to do my disclaimer. You guys know I'm not talking about all Black people, but I am talking about the Black people that makes it harder for Black people like myself and good Black people that want to do good things in this country. I am talking about the degenerates. I'm talking about you guys.
Wow, she's right. When I look at this whole video, what she said here, I'm looking at the comment sections, how they blow up on her. They were not happy that she said this, but she doesn't care. The truth is bitter. Sometimes you need to speak up. Yeah, since this happened, a lot of people have been speculating that this case will go nowhere. This lady put out a video about 3 minute clip, which I'm about to show you. When you take a look at a tweet like this, Carmelo Anthony has finally been charged with first for taking away the lives of Austin. We won't know until June whether the grand jury will let Anthony walk or make him stand trial. In the meantime, he's at his Fresco mansion enjoying the good life. Okay. There are still people that I've seen supporting this.
Carmelo Anthony still has not been indicted, and this track meet ordeal happened on April 2nd, which was over a month ago. On June 2nd, it'll be 2 months, and there still hasn't been any indictment, which leads me to believe the young man was, as he said, acting in self-defense and is innocent because what's taking so long? Now, in recent news, it is being reported that Jeff Metcalf, which is the father to Hunter and Austin, went up to the school where Carmelo Anthony was attending allegedly, right? Because he was upset, as well as the mother of Austin Metcalf was upset that the school allowed Carmelo Anthony to graduate. Now, let me go ahead and clarify, okay? He was awarded his diploma because he had a 3.7 GPA and had fulfilled all the necessary requirements to get his degree or his diploma, right, prior to this crime or whatever you want to say was committed. He only had a month and a half left in school at the time that this happened. And even with missing that last month and a half, he had still fulfilled all the requirements, and so he earned his diploma. Now, we know that the Metcalf family was upset about this. Megan Metcalf allegedly sent that email to the school saying that Carmelo Anthony can get his GED at a later time. She didn't want him to be awarded his diploma. Again, let me make it clear. They were not arguing we don't want him to be included in walking, included in graduation, or any of the activities. He already wasn't going to do that because he was expelled. What they did not want him to get was his diploma. No indictment after more than a month since this has happened is very telling, and I think that he is not as guilty as the media and all these people are trying to make him out to be. And I think there's definitely more to the story. It's probably leaning more towards what Carmelo said actually happened than what Hunter said actually happened.
Look at what she's saying. So according to this lady, it is over. If you saw what I put out on that tweet, by June, we're going to find out if this is over or not. So what she's saying here, just forget about it. I don't want to even reason in her direction.
Dominique Alexander just responded to the person calling him and Next Generation Action Network out for not having licensed security guards. And let's read it together. So he says, let me be clear. I don't usually take time to respond to a baseless noise, but since you've made it your personal mission to distort our work and rile up in your base with disinformation, today I'll make an exception. He says, Sarah, your obsession with Next Generation Action Network isn't about the truth, it's about control. It's your deep discomfort with Black-led organizations standing boldly in its purpose and making an impact. You're not exposing us, you're exposing yourself. Your racism, your bigotry, and your willful manipulation are on full display for the world to see. You built your platform on lies. You don't fact check. You don't care about accuracy. You care about the headlines that feed the hate of the echo chamber you've built. You're not helping families. You're exploiting them to boost your brand.
Thank you guys for always being there. I just wanted to update you on this topic because I've reported on these like about 20 videos, but I'm still here to follow up to the very end. Continue to support me sharing out the videos. I'm grateful.
Who effing who?
People line up for my advice, and you're walking away like I'm stupid. It's like I've written books, I've given speeches.
Why don't we choose more carefully who we're going to lionize? Not just us, but like the Harvards and the MITs of the world. Look.
There are just many natural reasons why marriage, infertility, trying to have kids makes things difficult. It's like I try to tell couples, of course it's hard. Just listen to what I said.
There's something wrong with this person. Like, she's seriously depressed here and actually found a way to bitch and moan about how hard it is to live in the White House.
What did you make of Donald Trump's post this morning alleging that since I said I hate Taylor Swift, she's no longer hot?
Justice will prevail.
It also shouldn't be racial.
Require Carmelo to run. He had
100.
Has been overwhelming. The lies in their amplification.
This is not going to end. Right is right and wrong is wrong. All good.
If you see any clips after this, that is just for the YouTube algorithm.
What if he says self-defense?
There's no self-defense. Because kids in here and resolve this issue is called conflict resolution.
Again, the evidence is still coming in.
This is definitely a self-defense case because it always is one until you look at the facts of the case and compare the two. You have to compare who was the initial aggressor.
Bedroom, because she's fearful of what might happen to her.
Followers for anything, and then the
Registration Act is
talking about this man, Killmonger.
My summary of the first 100 days is that
if film and TV productions continue to
First term, and you will be very...
Once again, the field was littered with Wintour does every year. This Carmelo Anthony case.
Live in the White House. Many people
like a little unhinged drunk.
And black people don't want to live around ratchet black.
How are we feeling